Once you log into the Zoya app, you will land on your home screen. Mine is showing a list of US listed stocks, and next to each one, you will see its Sharia compliance status, whether it's compliant, it's questionable, or non compliant. Let's open Meta as an example. Meta is marked as questionable. Depending on your Zoya subscription, you'll see full reports. I have a pro subscription, so if I scroll down, Zoya explains why Meta is questionable, maybe because of certain business activities or controversies. There's also a detailed report which with sources you can open, and you'll notice it is based on multiple Islamic screening bodies like AOFI and MSI Islamic. Now let's try to understand the breakdown of the percentages. Beside every stock, you would see the percentage of revenue from compliant activities and the percentage from questionable or non-compliant activities. Mm. Funds work the same way, except for a little difference. With stocks, you see the status right away. While for ETFs or mutual funds, you have to click into the fund to see the breakdown. Mm. Let's look inside one of these funds. Let's check out the QQQ fund, the QQQ ETF. When I open it and scroll down, I can see all the companies inside QQQ. I can filter to show only the compliant companies or the questionable ones or the non-compliant ones. For example, if I click on compliance, I'm only looking at the halal holdings in QQQ. So we have the Nvidia, the Apple, the AVGO, and the rest of it. Now, here's where this new feature shines, this Zoya Direct feature. If I want exposure to QQQ, but I only want the halal stocks, I can click buy and I'll be able to buy only the halal stocks. So once I click on buy, I'm able to, create a custom basket, which is filtered for Sharia compliant stocks only. As you can see, the excluded categories like the non-compliant category, the questionable, the controversies have already been automatically excluded. But then if I want, I can decide to um, include them. As Muslims, we will definitely not be including these. So these have been automatically excluded, but then I can still go ahead and add more companies to my blacklist. So even though after filtering and if there's a company that's technically compliant, but I just don't feel like I want it in my portfolio, I can easily exclude it. For example, Tesla. Mm. Um, Once I add a company to my blacklist, it would automatically adjust the ratings for the rest. I can decide to track changes for the future. In this case, that feature is not yet available. It's coming soon. So for now, we'll say do not track. By default, the allocations will mirror the ETF's original weightings, but then Zoya still gives you an opportunity to select other options. Okay, so here I'm just looking through all the halal companies within the QQQ ETF. I can see the various percentages for each of them, and this all mirrors what the weightings were in the original QQQ ETF. Okay. All right. So what I can do here with these percentages is I can actually, decide to change any of them by either using the defaults or using the other options like the equal weight or the custom. With my list here, I can decide to also delete any other halal ETFs halal companies that I do not want. So scrolling down here, I can make a choice to decide that no, I don't want all of these stocks. I would rather just invest in a little of them. So I can still come here and use the delete function to delete any ones. For example, I can decide to delete Starbucks. Okay. Once I delete any stock, it's automatically readjusts the percentages of the rest of them. Okay. I can also go ahead to delete any other stock. In this case, I have decided to just delete any stock that has a weighting less than 1%. It's all up to you how you decide to adjust your newly formed Sharia compliant ETF. Okay. So as I said before, there are other options for how you'd like to allocate. We have the option for the equal weight or the custom. So if I change my option to equal weight, what the system would do for me is it would enable me invest equally in all the remaining stocks that I have on my list. So I changed it to equal weight now, and as you can see, all the stocks now have a weighting of 3.45 or thereabouts. Okay. The other option that we have is the custom option, where I can pick and choose what weighting I've decided to allocate to any stock that I like. Okay, and the way to do this is just by using the plus or the minus sign beside each stock. Clicking on the plus would increase the holding, like what I'm doing for Shopify right now, and this would automatically readjust the other stocks in that ETF. Okay. I can also do the same thing for the reduction. So if there's any stock that I would like to reduce my holding in or my exposure to, for example, with PEP, I've decided to reduce my exposure to it. The moment I do that, it also readjusts. As you can see, the other stocks now have an increased weighting to 3.36. Okay, and PEP now is my lowest holding. After this compliance screening, I might have about 65 companies, but if I decide that I only want to invest in the top 10 or my top 10 favorites, I can still go ahead at this point to delete any of the stocks that I do not want, and Zoya will rebalance the entire portfolio for me automatically. Okay, so here what I'm trying to do here is just delete any of the stocks that I'm not interested in. I have decided that I'm only going to keep about 10 of these companies. So what I'm just doing here is just generally deleting what I do not need. The more I delete, the more my portfolio gets adjusted. Once you are happy with your list and your allocations, you can then go ahead to save your copy of the ETF. So here I'm just looking through to ensure that I'm happy with everything that I have left and all the weightings. If I have to do any other adjustments, I would definitely do that. Again, the Zoya app would automatically rebalance whatever is left based on the adjustments that I have made. Mm. I decided here that I was just going to delete a lot more of the halal stocks. All right. So I'm satisfied with what I have left. The next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and save this portfolio. Okay. Once I click on continue, I would be able to save this portfolio. By default, the name would inherit the name of the ETF, which is QQQ, and then just put a copy. But then you can change it to whatever you like Halal QQQ. In this case, I just decided to keep it simple by saying QQQ2. So whatever is your preference, you can definitely rename it to whatever makes sense to you. As you know, with the Zoya app, you can connect to your brokerage. Here, I've connected my Wealth Simple account, so I can pick any of my accounts where I have funds to be able to go ahead and purchase those halal stocks that I have filtered out. So what I've done here is just gone into my RRSP and I've selected that I want to invest $50 in QQQ2. Zoya would help me allocate the $50 based on the weightings for whatever halal stocks I have in QQQ2. As you can see, the amount has been distributed based on the weightings for all the stocks that I have in my newly created ETF. Okay. It also has let me know what has been excluded and all of that. I can decide to also change the amount. So if you're comfortable investing any amount, $100, $1,000, $500, it would also be the same thing. Zoya would help you allocate the amounts based on the weightings and also based on the stocks that you have. So when I change this to $100, it has allocated accordingly. It has also let me know how many shares I'll be getting based on the amount that has been allocated, which is also based on the weighting. Okay. So once I'm satisfied with all of this, all I need to do is click on submit. Once the order is submitted, it would be completed during the market hours. If it is submitted after hours, then it will be completed in next stock market opening day. Yeah, so that's it. That's how the Zoya Direct feature helps us to be able to invest directly in halal stocks from any ETF that we might be interested in that would normally would not have been able to invest in.